The studio is hot.
Okay.
The AC is not working. So just imagine the delusion. We're all delirious. It's like, can I swear?
Yes, you can.
We're all delirious as fuck. Like, I swear.
Ira Star, welcome to Naomi Radio.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm really
you.
happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. How are you enjoying your stay in Paris so far?
I love being in Paris. Like, I love it. Anytime I come here, I'm always like, I could see myself living here. Like, this is always a place I'm always like, maybe I should move to Paris.
The winter is a little bit better than in New York. A little
But
bit.
they should have told me that before I moved to New York.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
I moved to New York during winter.
I know.
Like, cold winter. And I was
That
just
was
there
a
like,
bad idea.
if nobody told me that. Nobody told me. Everyone was like, okay, girl.
It seems like you've already lived so many lives. Teenage breakthrough, global hits, Grammy nominations, world tour, and now you're entering a new chapter with your third album, Star Girl.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling?
I love the way you pronounce it. Say it again.
Star Girl.
Eh? That's me.
How are you feeling, entering this new era at this precise moment of your life?
How am I feeling? That's such a broad question. How do I even answer? Because I'm feeling so many things. I'm feeling so many things, but I'm also very, very present. I think that's just like my mindset right now. My mindset is just present, staying present and just enjoying every single moment. And just as it comes, good, bad, I'm just like, okay, let's go. Okay, cry. Okay, laugh. Okay, just as it comes, just go. But I'm just staying present and I'm enjoying every single thing that God is bringing to me,
Do you think that if you start really thinking about everything that had happened for you, like if you really stop for a second, it's going to be really crazy in your mind. So you prefer being in the present moment and just keep going?
I used to be in the headspace of just like survival.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really seeing everything that's happening in front of you. You're just thinking, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? Okay, this happened.
Anticipating all the
Yeah,
time.
anticipating. And when you've lived in a anticipation for quite some time, like I have, like I said, ever since I was a child, it's always like, I want to be a superstar. So I've lived in anticipation my whole life. Like, when is it gonna happen?
Yes.
I'll be in like somewhere and I'll be singing. Maybe somebody will hear me and like I always lived in anticipation. And it's like, it's happened and I just had to teach myself to be like, to see that it's happened and it's happening and, live and enjoy it as it comes. Because it's always like, it's been happening and it's been,
Yes. So now you take time maybe more to enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment as it comes.
Okay, cool.
I like this chair, very fun.
Yeah, it's...
Whee!
So it's the first time that I meet you. So, of course, I have many questions. Mm-hmm. And one of them is actually about your beginnings and most precisely about your voice. Because I think, as many people, I remember pretty precisely the day I discovered your voice, and I was like, oh my God, I need to know who's behind it, But I was wondering if you actually remember the day you discovered your voice. Was there a moment where you told yourself, oh, okay, my voice is actually, there's something, and I'm going to use it as my instrument?
Okay, yeah, I remember. Because I joined the children's choir, I can't remember the age. I always get the age wrong. So I'm just going to stop saying what age because people always drag me and say my ages are not, it's not, because I get it wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Everybody will be fine. But I remember being in the children's choir and I was very, very young. And we had just moved to Abuja and I was in the children's choir and my pastor already said that, oh yeah. It was just like, you give star energy. I was like, okay, yeah. Tell my mom. I've been telling her since. So I joined the children's choir in that church. I don't know if I sounded good, but I just had a tone. And I remember my tone was very deep.
Yes.
And I'll hear my choir master saying things like, you're a woman, sing higher. Sing higher than that, you're a woman. I'm like, I can't help it. I don't know. But I remember we didn't sound that good, but I just loved it. I loved being in front of the church and praising the Lord. in front of the church. I'd be like, just being extra. And I remember going home like after vigil one night or something, or I don't know if it was vigil or prayer night. And I remember my older sister, she's like in her 20s at this time. And I was like, and I was like, did you like the songs we sang today? And she was like, you guys sound horrible.
Oh, no.
She was like, you guys sound horrible. I was like, really? She was like,
Oh, no.
I was like, how do I sound? She was like, you sound like, she was like, you have a good tone,
But you need to work?
Yeah, you need to work. And I said, okay. I have a good tone, but I need to work. And that was the first time I heard something like tone, need to work. Like she was actually giving me like constructive criticism. Exactly. And I was like young, I was like 8, 9 or something. I was like, okay. I said, all right. I remember just going on YouTube. And that's how I started working on like my vocals. Every night I'll just start working on like key. I didn't know instruments or anything like that. So I'll just work on how to sing and everything. So it was at that time I started priming my mind to be like, okay, I have a good tone. People say I have a good tone. I just need to learn how to sing now, how to properly sing.
Yes.
I could always hit a note or two, but I couldn't like sing. But I think that's when I started processing it.
Yes.
Okay,
got you. And were there any particular female or even male, singers that maybe inspired you at the time to, master your voice?
Rihanna, definitely. She just had a very unique voice and a rich tone.
Yes.
Such a rich tone. I listen to Beyonce, but that's...
Yes.
Woo, she's a vocalist.
Yes.
Listen to Beyonce and I'll learn from like, even just Destiny's Child. But Disney, I love Disney songs. Even Justin Bieber. I would listen to Justin Bieber. I'll be like, okay, yeah, learn all of that. I listen to a lot of Miley Cyrus, Shakira, a lot of Shakira. Because I loved her tone also.
Yes. Yeah, you could relate to Shakira, I think. Or, even someone like Toni Braxton? I don't know if you listen
my
to
mom
her.
listened to a lot of Toni Braxton.
Yes. But that was actually one of my questions because I'm a huge fan of R&B music. I grew up with female R&B singers, but I was born in the 90s. So, I grew up, in real time with those music.
When the R&B was...
Yes, exactly. But you were born a little bit later. So I was wondering what is your relationship with this genre? Because you just mentioned Destiny's Child and Beyonce. Did you really were inspired by this scene and, R&B singers?
Growing up, I didn't really know much about genres.
Okay.
I didn't really know much because I was Afrobeat. Like I grew up on Afrobeat.
Yeah.
I just knew international music. So international music was international music. I knew hip hop, but I didn't know much about genres, but I would just listen to what I listened to. It was when I started becoming more aware of genres. I was like, oh, I really love R&B, and I knew the type of R&B I like. Like right now, I'm listening to a lot of, for new R&B artists, I'm listening to a lot of Leon Thomas.
Yes.
On repeat, like K1. Like those are like my R&B artists currently that I'm like on repeat, But like growing up then, it was like, I just always heard music like that. Like my aunties and my sisters, Auntie Irene, if you're watching this, just know you put me on. She put me on to all the R&B songs. She listened to a lot of Toni Braxton, Brandy, and she was always singing. And I don't know, like it was always love or heartbreak songs. I'm just like, who broke my auntie's heart?
Shout out to the aunties, really.
Shout out to my auntie, But yeah, like it inspired me without me even knowing. It was just what I grew up on,
So as you just said, your music and your artistry has been nourished by different genres. When I listened to this new album, Stargirl, I really felt like you wanted to open the doors bigger, that you wanted to explore new sonic spaces as well, especially when I listened to the first single, Where Do We Go? I was like, oh, and with the remix after with Peggy Gou as well.
Yeah.
So what was happening for you creatively, or maybe even personally, that made you want to push your sound somewhere new at this time of your career?
When I started Stargirl, my thought process was like, I just have to, like, I knew I could do a lot of things and I was very versatile. I don't know if I read it somewhere. I don't know if I read it tweets that just like planted a seed in my mind or something. And I was just like, I want to have a sound and I want to do just one thing. And that was my idea for Stargirl when I started. And the more I was trying to put myself in a box, the more I was like unwillingly just out. Yeah. I was just like, the more I thought that, okay, let me try one sound, let me try one thing, the more I was just trying different things. I didn't even know when I would do a different sound, but it's so natural to me. And my process through Stargirl was so revealing and so eye-opening for me, because I got to accept and see myself the way even my fans see me, and all the parts of me and all the sides they love, and I didn't feel like I had to box myself. And I was like, okay, wait, I do exist in multitudes.
Yes.
It's just who I am. I've always been like this. One day I like this, next day I don't like this. I can't help it. Just have to keep up. Just have to keep up. Like, asking me to do one thing is like, you're not asking for Ira Star. That's not Ira Star. So it's very natural for me to just try different things. So the more I was trying to put myself in a box, the more I was rebelling against myself. I felt like I was fighting myself. And I'll enter the studio, like, yeah, this is what I want to make. End of the session, we've done funk. We've done a whole different genre,
Did you have fun during, these sessions for Stargirl? Because I've read somewhere that you wanted to put more fun in your creative process. So yeah, how was it?
So fun.
Okay.
So fun, because I got to have different personalities. And it's not even like within myself, it's just like, it became like theater to me, being in the studio. I was having so much fun. The way I'll sing certain words I was just trying different cadences and different things. And it was just fun. And I was like, different characters. I'll have different characters while singing. Like this song, I knew how to just like be in it. Also, I did a movie last year that really put me in like the acting space, and I got to understand myself as an artist more. And it's not really about the music and the hits and everything. It was just about the love for the art.
Yes.
And I was in the studio, and when I'm in the studio, that's just what it is. It's just like I become this tunnel vision.
Yes.
I just blank out, and I'm just like, again.
You're in your own movie.
In my own movie, in my own world. I'm like, let me try this character. Let me try it from this angle. Let me try it angrier. Now let me try it funny and, cringe, So I was having so much fun. Like, if you're in the studio with me, you just be like, she's crazy. And I got to work with people that let me be crazy, from my engineers to the producers. They're just like, yeah, do it. And I'm like, okay. And I'll try something. I'm like, So it was so fun, and I was so free with it because I was just myself. I would let people in the studio. Usually I don't like people in the studio. But now, like, my friends can be in the studio, and just everybody knows to be quiet and just watching me. And I'm just like, there.
Do you feel more, free after this third album?
Definitely more free.
Okay.
Because I started to change my perspective on my work and my music. Because I was like, yes, when I was young, I wanted to do this. Then when I got in it for my second album, it was work. It became work. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to wake up by 6 a.m. I was tired.
Yes.
I was burnt out, let me tell you.
I can imagine.
Taking a break when I was doing the movie and being another character for a while kind of made me understand. I was like, wait, I get to do what I love. Like, I love this. Like, this is not just something I'm just lucky. No, this is like my life. Like, I love music. Studio is the fun part for me. Everything else is work. Like, I love you, but this is work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at work right now. But like, but when I'm in the studio, it's just like, it's like my playing ground.
Expressing yourself.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like,
trying
it's
things,
studio. When it's like, I have a break, I'm in the studio.
Yes, okay.
Because I'm like, that's how I release.
Okay, I understand. So what kind of character were you on Where Do You Go, the first single that you released?
What kind of character was
Yes.
was
Who are we meeting on this song?
Where Do We Go is very, I'm very good with like vulnerable songs.
Yes.
But I like the idea of juxtaposing vulnerability on a beat like that. So when we're writing it, me, Hamza, and Kido, shout out to Ilya, to the producer, it was literally just, we're dancing while writing this song. We're like, I need that. Like, it was just fun. It was so much fun, but it was the balance for me. That's why it was fun for me, because I love singing songs that touch people's souls. I can sing sad, happy, but I love to touch people's souls. But sometimes I'm like, what can I do different at the same time? How can I make these people, how can I write a kind of sad song, but you can kind of twerk to it at the same time?
That's what we want. That's exactly what we want.
Balanced diet, you know?
Yes.
Very balanced. So Where Do We Go was not really a character per se, but it was a mindset of, I'm going to allow myself to be vulnerable again, but actually I'm going to enjoy it this time. It's not a weakness. Yeah, I'm going to need that back,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And what was the starting point of, having this remix by Peggy Goo to push this idea of, dancing on your vulnerability a little bit more?
Yes.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Further?
I
Okay.
love Peggy Goo, and I wanted to work with her, and I was like, I want a DJ remix with Peggy. And I was like, can we ask Peggy?
Please?
She wants to do a remix. I would really like that, please.
And she said yes.
Yeah, she said yes, and she loved it. And I was like, okay.
I love it.
But yes, it's just entering different sides and
Yes.
different sounds and different genres and people's world and living in it, you know?
Yeah. On this new album, you also invited one of my favorite artists, who is our boss lady. Our French boss lady.
French boss lady.
Yes, Theodora. Why was it important to have her on this third album? Why did you want to have her specifically?
Collaboration on this album was mainly people that I listened to. Everybody on the album right now is people that I'm genuinely listening to till now. Like, if we're doing makeup, put some Theodora on. If we're doing, let's put some Leon Thomas.
Yes.
Let's put some K. Oh, when does this come out?
No, the interview is coming out, I think, when the album is released.
Yeah, let's put
But
some
I didn't
K1
listen to-
on. You know, I didn't know.
Okay, let's be professional. Okay, I'm listening to you.
So for Theodora, I was like, we're in LA at the same time. And I always wanted to work with her. We was like, okay, link up soon. But it's always been love. We're always showing each other love, like every single time. I'm always doing TikToks to her songs. I'm the number, you see me there. Just release a song, you see my TikTok immediately, you know? LA at the same time. And we went into the studio. I already even had a song in mind. So I recorded the song the day before. And then when she came, she recorded her verse. And I was like, you know what, let's try something. Let's just do something. Since we're here, there's still time. Let's just make something from scratch. And I told the producers what I want. I was like, yeah, I want to do something like bouillon, like
Yeah.
something bouillon inspired. And they're like, okay, yeah. And they started playing some chords. And it was, I'm telling you, that's one of the best like sessions I've had in my life. One of the best, I'm telling you, because there was a synchronization like with all of us. Like we were all in sync in a way that tunnel vision. Like when this music, when we were done with the song, we're like, what the fuck did we just do? Like from the producers, like nobody was sitting down. We're sweating. The studio is hot.
Okay.
The AC is not working. So just imagine like the delusion. We're all delirious. It's like, can I swear?
Yes, you can. of
We're
course.
all delirious as fuck. Like, I swear. We're all delirious as fuck. Everybody was sweating. I was like, I mean, you're like gasolina. It was hot as gasolina, you know?
Okay,
But yeah,
okay.
it was amazing. And I'm really glad I got to make music with her. She's such an amazing artist. Like, just being around her kind of, she's one of those people that she's such a authentic
Yes.
artist. You kind of feel so free because I don't want to compare, but like there's certain times where it's like, as artists, sometimes you feel the need to perform.
Yes.
You know, and
Oh yeah,
be
she
on.
doesn't perform.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I don't have the strength to perform. Like, except I'm on stage. Like I can't. Like I don't have the
Yes.
strength. But with her, like it was just two quirky, awkward girls who were just like, yeah, this is it. This is
I
it.
love
With that
it.
outfit, me with my slippers. I was like, hi.
One of another boss lady, we call her the Queen of France, actually, but Aya.
Yes.
And you
That's
were
the
with
queen.
her. Yeah, that's the queen. You were with her also at the Stade de France
I
a few days
was.
ago.
I was.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah? Did you
It was
enjoy it?
amazing. I enjoyed it so much. And I felt so much, like, I was so happy for Aya. Because, like, I was like, wow, like,
Yes.
I mean, we know she's the queen, but she really did that, you know? And that's not easy to do. That's not easy at all. And she's done it and she's doing it so well, so beautifully, so bad. Like, you're just a baddie like that, selling out the stadium, 3-9.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah,
You know,
it was
so
crazy.
It was really inspiring. I was just like,
Yes.
wow, so
Yeah.
happy.
And also she reunites so many different people, from different communities, and everybody love her.
Everybody
it's
loves
so
Aya.
beautiful to see that, as a
Yeah.
listener, as a fan, it's so beautiful to watch that.
It is.
Yes. And also recently you collaborated with Angélique Kidjo,
Yes.
another queen, right?
Yes.
Another queen. So yeah, I have the feeling that it's also very important for you to collaborate with other powerful Black female artists around the world
Yes.
in different genres. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? You know, is it like a conscious choice of yours, or is you just naturally attracted by these singers?
It's conscious because I'm just attracted. Like I love the music, you know. With Angelique, I grew up on. We all grew like I grew up on Angelique Kidjo.
Yeah.
Like she's from Benin Republic. I was born in
Yes.
Benin Republic, you know. Even like going to school, like we would pass our former house and be like, "That's where Angelique used to live." I'll just be like, "Okay," you know, I'm like, "Okay." And now I have a song with her.
I know.
You know, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy. And
So,
I love
yeah.
this song.
Thank you.
Really, really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, let's go back to the album because you mentioned earlier Leon Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I know you are a big fan of his music. So yeah, how was it for you to collaborate with him on this third album, you know?
See, when I was sending the song, because I watched him, like I went to his show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in London. I think it was in London. I went to his show in London and I was just watching him perform. I was just like, this man can play like all the instruments. I was just there like, wow. And he can sing. I already was a fan, but now I'm just like, wow. And I got to meet him. And he was like, yeah. I was like, I want to send you music. The way I was over, I was scared. I was like,
You were scared?
I mean,
I love that.
like,
Yeah.
I love music, but I'm also
Yeah.
like very
Yeah,
particular
yeah,
about my
yeah.
music, and I'm like shy sometimes. I'm like, oh, like, you know. So I was like, I don't know if he's gonna like it. I was like, because I love Leon Thomas, and the sound we have together is Afro, very Afro R&B, very sexy Afro beats. I sent him pressure, and he recorded it like in a day or two and sent it
Okay,
back. I was
wow.
just there, like when I heard the song, I was like,
So happy, so proud, I guess.
amen. I was like, amen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he reacted, very quickly, and he was
Like he
super
loved the
happy.
song and he recorded
Cool.
it and he sounded so good. Like it sounded maybe a bit too good because that's my song, you know, not too much. But like, I was like, okay, calm down.
Yeah. So is there other people, you know, in the future that you would like to collaborate with? I guess so. But like, who is your number one, if you can tell?
Rihanna, definitely. I feel like I
Yes.
say this a lot. It feels like
Yeah,
I have
it's
no
true, it's
personality
true,
outside
yeah.
of that. You guys already know the answer. Like, maybe I should even stop. Delete that out. Just say it. Just
Yeah.
put the question there and let people answer for me. They'll say it. They know it. I don't even have to say it myself. But yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
I would like to ask you about this word that you picked for the album, Stargirl, because you actually became a Stargirl very young. And I know you wanted to become a superstar. And I guess that you knew, you know, what it would require. But as you became actually a superstar, a Stargirl, were there any challenges that maybe you did not expect, you know, during your journey? Some things that you had to challenge and that made you stronger, maybe?
I had to know how to separate the way people saw me and the way I saw myself. Because at one point it was becoming one. And I was
Okay.
getting affected by it because I didn't know who
You were anymore?
I was anymore. And I feel like I became like a okay.
Yeah, somewhere else, someone else.
Somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah, somebody
and it was
else.
not even like physically too, it was also like mentally, you know? When you mix those two together, you start to lose trust in yourself. Trust in a way that your inner self, like you don't even, like I got to a stage in like very short, by the way, okay? Very short, it was not that long. But like I got to a stage in my life where like I couldn't make a decision without calling like 5 people.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
forget even as an artist, as a woman, you don't want that. Because people will make the decisions for you without you even giving permission to them. People will make decisions for you. People will decide what you should like, what you should do. And as a woman now, and especially as an African woman, we kind of grow up like that because we're primed and we're taught and we are told like this is what it should be our whole lives. And getting into adulthood, you start to understand what you actually want, you know? But at a stage in my 20s, I mean, I'm still in my 20s, but you know, in the beginning, I didn't know, you know? And the funny thing was that when I was younger, I knew I was not that, like, nobody could tell me what to do. Nobody could tell me, I mean, you can tell me what to do, I will listen, but
Yes.
you couldn't tell me what to be.
Yes.
Because I had such a fierce and sure mindset
Yes.
on who I was and how I'm going to be and who God has called me to be. But at one point there was a bit of like, confusion, and I didn't really, when I say trust myself, it's like trust myself, like my
Yes.
inner self, that tiny, the quietest voice in your head, that quiet one. I didn't know her anymore. And I couldn't make a decision without asking 5 people, because I just thought people knew. Everybody knew better.
Yeah.
What do I know? You know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned and I had to overcome, and I'm so happy I did. I feel like God really revealed it to me, because I didn't even know. It was not like, it's not a conscious thing.
You didn't realize
it's even like it's even easy.
Yeah.
It's the easy way.
Yeah.
Because
true.
everybody can, and you just have to be there.
Yeah.
You know? It's the easy way.
Do you have the feeling that making this third album, Stargirl, was also a way to, take your power back and your confidence back, and take your own decisions again and explore the music that you wanted to explore? Do you have this feeling?
Definitely. That's what it was. And it was me doing that throughout the album. And while making the album, I started to understand that, what do I want? I feel like Stargirl is so important to me because it really taught me so much about myself,
I have a last question for you, Ira. I had so many questions left, but we're running out of time. It's more a general question about your relationship with music. The question is, what would you say you have found in music that you never found in any other places?
That's such a nice question.
Thank you.
Go on, girl. Yeah. Let me take a sip.
Take a sip
Let me
before
think. Let me have a
answering.
think. Let me have a quick think. Yeah. I feel like in music, I can just 100% be myself. In music, doesn't care who I was or who I'm going to be. It's just who I am now and what I want to do now. And that's how the music feels for me. When I listen to music, it helps me it's now. And when I make music, I'm not thinking, this is what I'm going to be. No, it's just like, what do you want to do now in this studio now? Who do you want to be right now? And I can do that through the music. So it's like, I can just be myself. I can be vulnerable. I can feel so many, 1,000 things. And the best part of music for me is like, it doesn't have to make sense. I feel like people want, like, with other places and other things in life, it's like everything has to make sense. With music, it's so natural. It does not have to make sense to anybody but you. Like music like sees me, and I see music too. Oh, that's nice. That's like my love. That's my love.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Ira
you.
Star, for being
Thank
with
you
me
so
today. I
much.
really
Thank
appreciate
you for having me.
Thank